There you are. Oh, I thought we'd have to do the show without you, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting will be a thrill. Grandpa and chill, grandson and friends. Podcasting Grandpa and chill will be a thrill, grandson and friends. With your hosts, Grandpa Barton, Brandon Fox, Phines Jackson, and Sierra Dawes. This is Grandpa and Chill.
All right, bitchin'. You know what happened? You know what happened? They launched Riverside 2.0 this afternoon. Is that what happened? I don't know what the hell they did.
It's like the first one, but worse.
But it's somehow worse. And I'm not even seeing anything like really impressive that wasn't already there except the iPhone app, which I'm never going to tell people.
Oh, we finally have a phone version. People
only for iPhone.
That one lady who was like this fucking shit.
Oh yeah, did we ever get her back or?
Oh, we already lost our child audience.
She said 2 strikes and I'm getting the hell out of here. Bless her heart. She tried her best. Welcome to the show.
Yes. Hi.
Just the core group today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the world is going to shit.
Only a little.
Oh, yeah, a lot. Global warming's crazy.
We're going to talk about all the problems going on in New Zealand today.
What happened to New Zealand?
I'm joking.
You can't just put evil on them like that. By the time this airs, there's going to be like...
I mean, New Zealand has 1 case of COVID and they're under total lockdown. But there's countries doing worse right now, I would say.
Yeah, it's us.
Yeah, like Australia. They got like 9 cases.
but actually, support for Haiti. We're going to put links down below.
Yeah.
Devastating
Haiti is currently devastated. Afghanistan is not doing peachy keen. It's really bad.
As long as I can remember, Haiti's been in very deep trouble. They're a very poor country, and they've had a lot of problems there.
Yeah, okay, so we talked about... Okay, Phines, we talked about this on the other show. Like, because it's like the Dominican and Haiti are together, but like only Haiti get... What did they say it was? Is it the fault line?
It's on a spine. Go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought it's just because Haiti is over where the tectonic plates merge and... DR is like slightly away. No,
how are they not getting the same kind of problem? Like, it's just so crazy to me because I've never heard of like, give a little bit of my love to you, for the Dominican Republic. I only hear that like we only have like campaigns and donations and things for Haiti. Are they just better prepared, or is it literally just that somehow the weather isn't reaching them?
I bet it's a lot like here where some places are below the water line and there's chances of places where it's hurricanes and some people live on Tornado Alley in the Midwest and some people live in the places where fires burn in California. Most of those places are called the hood. So
they are. Haitians in chat.
Yeah, I'm looking up right now. Explain why Haiti is prone to devastating earthquakes.
Or just like why DR isn't. That's like that makes more sense to me than like why the DR isn't. I'm gonna go Dominican.
Yeah, it says Haiti sits on a fault line between huge tectonic plates, big pieces of earth crust that slide past each other over time. These 2 plates are the North American platelet and the Caribbean platelet, and it says right. Yeah, they're right in that little hot zone, epicenter, Haiti.
Okay.
There's some of it, DR's in it too, but there's a part of DR, so I'm sure there's like...
Wait, so literally, because I think of it like a hurricane, where if a hurricane's really bad in one place a mile away, it's still going to be bad, just not as bad.
Yeah,
but an earthquake doesn't work like that.
How do you feel about this situation? Do you think that... President Biden did the right thing by pulling out of Afghanistan the way we did?
I think he had to, right? It sounds like some stupid thing the other president started.
Right, but I wonder why he just didn't get the people out before he pulled the military out.
So I
Or
heard
to leave.
again something. I have no credentials or not, but he did not want to pull people out because it would signal to the country and world that, like, basically he was afraid that something bad was going to happen, so they needed to keep an air of like, well, we got this and everything was good. And it fell in a week. I mean, there was news conferences where he said it wouldn't fall, period, and then at least for a very long time. So nobody thought it would fall in 7 days.
Looks like a real tragedy there.
Yeah, I have a question, Grandpa, because I mean, I was obviously very, very young in 1990s. Does this remind you of when this first happened, when Taliban first took over Afghanistan?
Well, I believe the English were involved there, and the Russians, and neither of them were successful. And trying to keep the Taliban out. But I don't really know that much about the history. I know that what's just happened is similar to the Bay of Pigs invasion when we were supposed to support people going into Cuba to change the government from a communist government. And we kind of let them down, and it seems there's some similarities here. But to answer your question, I don't really know the history that well. I just know that everyone that's gone in there has been unsuccessful. I believe it's England and Russia before the U.S.
Yeah. I'm learning quite a bit. I don't have a complete opinion quite yet because it's so complicated. I wish we would kind of get out of stuff that's not our business when our own backyard is not really that clean, but it's too late now, huh? Too late to be saying all that.
No, I agree with you, Phines. I think we need to take care of our own situation.
We don't even know how to. Yeah, we don't even know how democracy works all the way. Like, what makes you think we got it so perfected that we're ready to spread it around? But that's colonialism for you.
Well, they come back and tell you that it's in our self-interest, but I'm not so sure it is.
Self-interest to who?
Did you see those videos of people in Afghanistan grabbing onto the Air Force planes and falling?
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah.
And it must be they must try to leave for a reason.
The wheel well of an aircraft.
What'd you say?
I said a person was found dead in the wheel when they landed to wherever they were going. They found a dead person in the wheel well of one of the aircraft.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally people grabbing onto the sides of the plane and then falling to their death after it took off.
Must be very desperate, but they've had women's rights there, that where the young girls can go to school and get an education, and now it's going to go back to Sharia law where they will not be able to do that. One just got shot today just for not having
wearing a head
mask
covering,
or head dress on.
Yeah. And that was the day after they said that they would try and maintain modernity or some semblance of equal rights while being under Sharia law. I don't know.
So Brandon and Sierra and Phines, Brandon, what did you think of my idea of putting on a 10-minute skit or play with you actors?
It's like the worst segue I've ever heard in entertainment, Grandpa.
Yeah. I feel like we've had this show for a year, and me and Sierra are not actors.
Grandpa forgets.
Not like a maybe visual, maybe just audio mix only. Like, gotta pick a lane.
Brandon.
Some people are gonna listen. Some people are gonna watch. It's gonna be complex.
This is a one-man show, Brandon. Go ahead, brother.
Well, no. So Grandpa called me middle of the night. He was like, "I have this idea." Grandpa, you tell the idea. very excited. I was really happy. He was so invested
Well, I
in
just
it.
thought that, like we could put on a little, if somebody could write a script for us, we could put on a little play each week, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Have some sort of a little acting class or play. It's just an idea I threw out because you're all actors, so, except for me.
Not an actor.
I
Not with
thought
that
you were in the
attitude,
acting
Phines.
business.
Not that way.
No. I've been in less things than you probably have.
Would you do it as a non-actor?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Then let's do it.
All right.
How about you, Sierra?
You know, I don't think I'm getting the whole picture, so I think if you start, maybe I'll get the whole vision. But you know,
I'm more of a
it's hump day. I'm down
improviser. How about
to
that?
improviser.
I don't need I'd rather have a script, but I don't need to play it. I need this as a guidelines. After that,
He
I'll
doesn't
make up
need
my
a
own.
script. He already knows what to say.
Just tell me what I got to do, and then I'll go from there.
What kind of subject would we act about? You know, what a murder mystery, a love story.
So much could go wrong.
You know, I've been telling you guys about this gentleman Gates Jr. Have you
Bill
ever
Gates?
heard of him? What? No. He does a show. Well, he does several different shows. He was a professor at a university, but he's a very educated man that does the background of different people. Generally, they're known people. He does a show each week, and he's terrific.
The Roots show, but Find My Roots.
Yeah, he's terrific. The show, and you can learn a lot from it. But getting back to the acting, you have any ideas for a play, Brandon?
No,
What
we have a listener who she loves the show, and she just won a Webby Award for
Wow.
Katie Mack. She's very talented. What was it? Best writing for a podcast. She
What is she doing listening to this?
that's what friends are for.
Under friends. Okay.
But I think she'd be down to write something for us.
Yeah.
Extremely talented. But
Well, good. Yeah.
hey, I'm turning 26 in 11 days, and Sierra's birthday's also coming up, right?
Yeah. Friday, baby.
Friday.
This Friday or next Friday?
When this airs, it'll be this Friday.
This Friday. Wow.
That's your birthday?
20.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure my dad's birthday is coming up soon too.
You pretty sure?
Mm-hmm.
Keep thinking on
I think it's the 28th.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What was I gonna say? Leos.
Leo gang.
Leo gang.
well, we need to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah. What would you like done? What do you want to do for your birthday? What is the best birthday for you? What would be a perfect
All
birthday?
I want for my birthday
Mm-hmm.
are some sweet patrons, baby. Grandpa
Patrons, baby.
Chill. Patreon.com. We got
What-
one patron.
You
If we got
serious?
one, I mean, if we got one patron, then we could. Why?
I was gonna ask Brandon what he wanted. I just been working with my Patreon too, trying to get it started up, and I was just like, I have nothing to offer anyone.
That's
like,
why I made it coffee instead, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to monthly produce something of value and then provide it to other people and be like, yeah, I tried my best.
I think maybe we could just be like, I think what I'm gonna try to do is like, hey, continue the conversation. First tier, you get one question. Second tier, you get like 5 questions.
That would
After
be
that-
something.
After that, you can have a conversation with more than one person in the group. We should have a poll where they vote who is the favorite and least favorite, and then we'll do that with tiers to have conversations with. And then ultimately, probably grandpa's the highest, and be like, if you're pay $20 a month, you can talk to grandpa and ask him 2 questions.
2 questions a month.
You're being nice, Phines.
I don't know. It's called Grandpa and Chill.
One of us is just like the $1, the $2 patron.
Yeah, you would.
Oh my god.
I think I'd come out low man on the totem pole, but go on.
No, never. You know what though? We'd have to have a tier for Rosie. Rosie would be like the top tier.
Yeah,
like,
we should.
Be like, we'll FaceTime you and give you a selfie, mirror selfie with a bird.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
I would pay top.
We actually don't have any guests this evening, or you
we're just vibing.
Sort of said two different things. You said something about an actress possibly, and then you also said we don't have any guests, so I'm not.
What did I say about
what you have up your?
What? It's the person that writes the scripts for podcasts.
Yeah, that's different. That's not this. Someone I could ask. I'm listening to this new audio book called what is it? It's like How to Not Waste Your 20s or something. Thought that was interesting.
What have you learned so far?
I'm in the first part where she's talking about identity value. We all have like this personal quotient of, like instead of like I make $100,000 a year, it's like this is my life right now, and my value as a person is 100 or 10, and I thought that was very interesting.
I liked it.
Why is your volume so low, Brandon? Now, your volume was up before. Now that you came back on, I can barely hear you.
He muted himself.
Girl, I think you're on default microphone.
He's going out. He's going back in. Your nails look fancy. Are you yes, yeah, oh wow, look at that.
Right? This is the best, this is the most progress I've probably ever had in my life.
Yeah. Looks
so
fancy.
I gotta keep them painted or they're gonna break off and it's gonna be real, it's gonna get difficult fast.
Do you do your own or have somebody do them?
Yeah, I did this myself.
You did that? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to make an assumption. I was like, oh yeah, she went to a shop.
No.
That was good. Wow.
All me.
Grandpa, you read anything new? Anything cool?
I have to think about it. I don't
Sorry,
know. It just seems like everything is pretty stressful right now with this, this possibility of COVID coming back up. And I think it's got a lot of people upset. I know it's had a very bad effect on the stock market. Not that that's of any great concern unless you're in the stock market, but the last few days have been pretty bad. And I guess with the kids going back to school right now, it's a very difficult decision whether or not they should wear masks and whether the vaccinations which we've had is going to protect you against the Delta variation, and they're talking now about 9 months to get a booster shot, possibly.
We're going to be able to get those in September. I just saw that.
And it's September. What's your opinion of it all that, Grandpa? What do you think?
Regarding whether they should get the shot or wear masks for school, or what are you exactly more specifically asking me?
Let's start about with that. What you just said. Should they wear masks and
I don't think young children should have to wear masks in school, but I guess the older ones, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it because I think that it depends on it is an opinion, but it depends on where they're located and how prevalent the amount of infection there is in that particular area. That would determine whether or not they would need to wear masks. I don't understand why the schools are not putting in very high quality air purification systems, which could helped to eliminate a lot of the viruses in the air. Very good ventilation system, and also why they've not used ultraviolet. There's some forms of ultraviolet now that are not deleterious to the human cells, but they kill the virus. And I haven't heard very much about it at all. But especially, I mean, I don't know how far along they are on the ultraviolet, but I know that they have, like for hospitals and buildings, and I even have one, but they have very good air purification systems that remove the viruses. And why they can't put them in every classroom? They're not that large; they're the size of like a trash can, and they filter out all the germs. And that would seem to me, even if it helps 20% or 30%, would be a big deal.
Yeah,
How much do those cost?
To put a good unit in, you're looking like close to $1,000
For each classroom?
for each classroom. Yeah, but I think if they bought in those quantities, they could probably buy them for half that amount.
Yeah.
Probably half. I mean, there are units that you can buy for $100, but they're not the same thing. I'm talking about I guess it's called a HEPA, really high quality air purification system. And but I would think it would be worth it if you have a school with, say, what do they have, 40 classrooms, let's say, or 30 classrooms, and if it costs $30,000 to protect the school, I think it's worth it. And of course, you have to change the filters like every year or two. It's the filters that are so expensive.
Yeah. You said you have one too?
I do. In fact, my wife Linda, who you guys have met, she has asthma, and she has a serious situation from time to time with her coughing and breathing. And I bought 2 units. I bought one for where she works in her business. She's a hairdresser, and they had, fumes from the nail polish remover and other issues from the hairsprays and all that. I bought a very good unit for there, and I bought one for our home, and it's helped a tremendous amount. So that's basically, what I'm saying. I don't understand why they wouldn't spend whatever it takes, $30,000 a year per school or whatever it is. I mean, I know you're talking about a lot of money, but this ongoing situation with COVID is also very expensive. So if they could cut down the risk a great percentage-wise, I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why no children with masks?
Well, but they probably should wear masks. I didn't really give a definitive answer. What I think is it depends on the area, on how much risk there is in a particular area. Some areas you have very little issues with COVID. In other areas you have a lot of issues. So I would think where there's a heavy concentration of people, like in the cities like Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, you'd probably want to require masks, but in other areas maybe not so. Out in the country, rural, where there is not that much of a risk. But I don't really have an opinion on that because I don't know. What do you think, Sierra?
That just seems flawed to me, because if we're saying, like, we don't need masks where COVID isn't a problem, well, COVID isn't a problem because those are the areas where people are wearing their masks or being vaccinated or both. And it's like, at the thing that sucks for me, just like I don't obviously have any kids or anything, but just seeing it play out in the news and everything, I think is terrible, because kids can't get the vaccine. Kids can't do any of it. And I think they are now. I did see something after we talked about it a couple weeks ago that they are doing trials on children under 12 now. But they're still far away from it. I think it would probably be like the winter or next year until it's approved for children under 12 to get it. But like really all you have, like I don't know, like I don't know why they're choosing so hard not to go virtual again, but like the way that the Delta works is like it is even better at attacking your lungs, which is why so many more children are getting sick and having to go into the hospital and everything. So like really your only option is to either do another year of virtual school, which I understand why it is really difficult for some people, but it's so much safer, I think. But like it's that, or masking up and not being a psychopath at school, like in like grade school, wherever you are. To me, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. It's like you really don't have any other options. I saw like a story it was last week, and it was like this doctor somewhere was saying that like in their state, it was somewhere in the South, I want to say Louisiana, but he was saying that if your kid gets sick, like really sick, he's just gonna have to wait for some other kid to die for them to be able to help him, because all these pediatric ICUs are filling up right now.
Wow,
Horrible.
They play. It was like, it's like COVID heard last year, all those politicians saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal, kids can just go to school, COVID doesn't care about kids, kids are impervious to COVID. And COVID was like, oh yeah, for real, you're impervious to me, and like came all the way out. Like it's devastating. It's just a devastating time.
I don't understand it. When I was a kid, back in, I guess, the 40s, the 50s, we had to get a vaccination to go to school.
Yeah.
It was something like the Board of Education requires a vaccination, whatever. They didn't make a deal out of it. We had to get a vaccination for smallpox and other potential diseases, and they mandated it, and that was the end of it. And I think they should protect the children. I don't understand, but I guess only because it was developed, the vaccinations were developed so quickly that they're just not certain about the long-term effect, that they're holding back on the young children. But I don't know.
Yeah, internet's a big deal for that. I bet back in the day, if they had parents all up these people but about what was vaccinations and stuff, if they had more options, there'd probably been a lot more anti-vaxxers back then. But they didn't have no options. Here we got a voice for some reason. I mean, that's good, we have a voice.
This isn't good. That's not good in any way.
But I mean, that's some of the reasons why we're in the situation we're in, is just that there's a people can get their own opinion other ways other than the news, so they can choose to not believe what's going on, and they can choose to try to do what they want with their kid. I think back in the day it was kind of like, well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're putting in my sloppy Joe. I'll just eat it. Yeah.
I feel like even back then there was like, even if it was like, I'm going to do what's best for my child, there was still a voice that was like, you dumb bitch, you're still going to have to do this for sure. Like, you can choose if he's going to eat peas or broccoli, but you're not going to get to choose if he can, not get polio or not. Like, he needs to get it.
This is a side note, but it was a tweet or something somewhere, but it was something about like, could you believe like when we used to get lunches at school, they used to give us pizza and milk. Like that combo of like, why would you put that on a kid's stomach? Just chocolate milk
they would
and
give
pizza.
You milk and tacos.
And it'd be like, this
pizza.
doesn't make sense. It's not good for digestion.
Big dairy.
It's funny.
Who wants milk for lunch?
Well, you would think that they would want to protect the real young people and the real old people first.
That's what's kind of been crazy too, is like some of y'all's governors just want you to die. Like they just want you to die. They don't even want you to vote for them anymore. And that's what's crazy too, is like most of these people that are getting sick or dying are like your demographic, like your kids, the only people who voted for you, because they also believe in nonsense. That's why they, are just doing whatever they want. No mask, no vaccine, no nothing. And then they're getting terribly sick and dying. Like they just don't want you to live. I don't know why. Maybe they've decided that the gravy train is going to be ending soon. And they're like, I don't know, but they just want y'all to die straight up.
And one of the governors that has been against requiring masks, he actually put an order with a state that they can't mandate masks. He just
Good old
got
Greg.
COVID. He
Greg
just got
wants all
COVID.
of y'all to die.
You talking about Abbott?
Mm-hmm.
Abbott,
Greg
yeah.
don't like any of y'all.
How's he doing with COVID? Is he doing okay?
He says he has no symptoms, but he's getting that like special like Trump cocktail of antibodies and stem cells or whatever the hell already immediately. And he was one of the first people vaccinated. Just ugly shit. He wants y'all to die, like die. He hates all of y'all. I don't know why.
Yeah. What do you think, Brandon?
Y'all. Yeah, are you okay over there?
Yeah. No, it's just all so depressing.
It literally is.
Yeah, I haven't been doing too good.
Well, we can talk about the book you're reading.
I can
No,
tell you
that-
about handball.
That shit's depressing too. No, I think that it's really crazy because more of his constituents have passed away from COVID than the gap between the people that elected him and didn't. So I wonder how
That's
that'll
what I'm
affect
saying.
his
Like
opinions.
all these Republican governors and like senators are like losing their. They're never gonna get They're never gonna get voted in again.
But I also think like rest in peace, and I mean those are people's family members and all that stuff, and like I don't want that to happen to anybody. So I don't know.
Let me tell you guys about handball.
Is this an example of survival of the fittest?
Oh, Grandpa.
I don't even know, and that's the thing that makes it sad too. Is like I'm darn near completely out of sympathy for a lot of these people that are getting sick and getting really, really sick just because they wanted to be dumb and just be crazy all for like 18 months. But they get normal people sick that are trying to like do their best and be normal and believe in basic facts and do all this stuff. And that's terrible.
Yeah, I think not getting vaccinated is selfish, and I yeah, I don't know. I just really didn't think we'd come into another wave like this. Like this feels like prime pandemic in the last like 3 weeks.
Are we actually coming into another wave? Is it actually getting worse now? I read two different things in the news.
So do I. I mean, I might have said this story before, but one time I was running on a treadmill a couple years ago, and there was two TVs in front of me at the gym. One on the left said Fox, one said CNN, and they had the opposite headline. So I mean, but the statistic I saw that it said the top 50 worst hospitalizations and deaths, like the top 50 counties, number one is still less than the 50th today, and this is just in the last 3 weeks of like people dying from COVID, basically. So it feels like we're in another wave.
Okay.
Quite understand what your comparison there. What was it?
So the 3 weeks ago, the top county in the entire country had X amount of deaths from COVID or hospitalizations. I'm not sure which number it was. Today, the 50th highest county as far as hospitalizations and deaths has a higher number than the number one county 3 weeks ago.
But what about in comparison to, let's say, New York situation? I'm talking percentage
in the 2020s,
back when it first started.
Sure, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to compare. What's going on today with what was happening at the
I can look it up. We can Google
summit or whatever you call it.
Yeah, let's Google.
The last when the pandemic situation was real bad, back about 6 months, a year ago.
COVID or not vaccinations, COVID deaths USA.
And of course we have the vaccine now, so
yeah. I think it's showing that the deaths are spiking up to what they were in, it looks like May or April, like back up to that, but nowhere near January, nowhere near April of 2020.
That's what I was.
But that's deaths. New cases are higher than they were in April 2020, higher than they were in the summer of 2020. The only time that they're not as high was like that huge spike in December and January of, this past year, 6 months ago.
And then I understand the flu may become a serious situation.
Yeah.
You don't get a flu shot. That's another.
That's something to be hopeful about, is that it looks like the cases are spiking very high. We're trending towards maybe as bad or worse than it was at the peak, but the deaths are way low. So
what were you saying, Sierra?
I don't remember.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
It's okay. It was fine.
Don't tell me your memory's getting like mine.
I'm just really tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, get vaccinated or stay the fuck at home. Stop being nasty. No one cares. Just stay the fuck home. You're embarrassing everybody normal that you know. Just stay home.
It seems like this administration is making a strong effort to get people to get vaccinated.
They're trying.
I mean, I see it on TV all the time, and on the radio and television. For even in some cases, paying people $100 to get a vaccination.
No, there was a lottery for $1 million.
They were giving away free Six Flags tickets.
No, but you didn't hear about the millionaires that they were giving?
Yeah, but I wanted to go to Six Flags.
You still can, no?
Yeah.
Not for free.
Oh.
I didn't get anything for being vaccinated except more time to complain about everybody who wasn't.
Do you feel like you were going out for a period a couple months ago, much more after you were vaccinated, and now are going out less?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I had a whole plan to take I was going to be gone my whole birthday weekend and finally go out of town and just totally just chill out and do me for like 3 or 4 whole days. And now I can't do any of that bullshit.
Yeah.
It's weird because like about a month ago or so, I'd go into the supermarket and people had just stopped wearing masks. And then 2 weeks later, they're wearing masks again.
I mean, it was per CDC. It was the CDC said vaccinated.
I remember talking to people about that too. They're like, "Aren't you gonna take your mask off?" And I was like, "What the heck? Why?
What I look like.
Yeah,
At
what
the
I look
museum?
like? Yeah, people just I was like, I can't. I just no. It didn't sound right. They told us last year it's gonna be a second one. Humans are the worst about multiple things, like the fact that we've been talking about global warming for forever, right? And this is going to smack us in the face in the next couple of years. It's going to smack us, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be like, oh my God, what happened? How did this happen? And people have been saying it for years. But I guess my comment about the whole COVID thing and anti-vaxxers and people not getting all this other stuff, I would think a good example is like, we know people are dying of hunger every single day, right? We know they're dying. We could do stuff about it, but we don't. And I think a lot of that same thing with like people that don't care about the vaccination or care about the disease. Like if it's not right in front of them, if it's not right in front of humans all the time, I don't think we really care. Unfortunately, like the majority of us.
Do you count yourself in that?
Yeah, I'm no different. I'm a human. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's exhausting trying to care about every single flower that gets stepped on, and I don't mean that in such a rude way, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
it's exhausting to try to fight every battle, but at the same time, I think, especially, I guess I'm just going to say America here in America because that's all I really know. But we tend to try our best to like distract ourselves from all the bad stuff and not even, I'm just not surprised by people of not caring about getting vaccinated. I'm not really surprised how selfish everyone is.
I mean, people were always like, frequently I've heard like, I mean, what would you do if you were in, Germany during the Holocaust? Like that kind of conversation. But there's several genocides going on like right now. Like, in this moment,
Yeah.
So
I mean,
some of your family members, like it's like people. It's like it seems like everybody knows somebody who's like a little like fascist, like who like acts a little like that, or like neo-Nazi vibes. Like I feel like everybody knows somebody like that. It may not be your friend, but of that person, and it's like if you're like if you just like passively accept that person, like when you're like at gatherings and things, it's like that passive, it's that passive action that does it every time.
Well, it's weird because I mean I don't know about you guys, but this feels like maybe the most like apocalyptic year and a half of my life, you know, like sort of movie like.
For sure.
And as far as that, like apocalyptic vibes of my parents' generation and grandpa's generation, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like post World War II, I would say US has had like a ton of problems, but on like a global, like this might be the end scale, like sort of after Cold War, we haven't really gone through that. And now like our generation for the rest of our lives, and then like our kids' generation, almost definitely that's going to be the thing, is like this climate is going to get worse. These wildfires are going to get worse.
For the next 30 years.
And then what? And then kaboom.
Hopefully, no. The next 30 years, we can't reverse how much hotter it's going to be because we've already screwed ourselves so hard. But we can try to reverse it. If I had to put like a stone hard like feeling on something though, like if I had a real opinion, I definitely think that the generation that caused all this fossil fuel and was living like there was no tomorrow, they owe something to their children. Like I usually try to be like, oh, maybe not. But I pretty much think that there should be some of their Social Security taken or something. I'm not joking.
Are we talking about grandpa here, or are we talking about
anybody in the boomer beforehand that once we started having inklings of knowing that the world was like what we were doing, digging into the earth, and the actions that we were doing, they were affecting the future. I think that there is a responsibility on their hands to do something, because they went around like for the last 60, 70 years, they've been doing like, you know, making as much money and getting as glutton as they can. And then they're just going to just say it's up to my kids to deal with all this trash. Like that it's just not it's not only fair, it's not really realistic to do that. Like, you know, how do you expect someone to just deal with your crap for the rest of your life while you had fun?
This is what this podcast is about.
The United States is building up a tremendous amount of debt. Tremendous. I don't think people today realize what it's going to cost just in interest, just to pay the interest every year, because right now it happens that interest rates are extremely low, much lower than normally through our history. And once those interest rates go up, you know, it's going to be like a $5,000 chunk every year just to pay the interest on the debt.
Yeah.
23 trillion dollars in debt, and then another 6 or 7 trillion, and the Fed has borrowed, and you know, it's going to be hard for the younger people.
Nah. Way to lead by example. I'm doing exactly what y'all did. If I can go to $1 trillion in debt, then I can at least get $2 to $3 trillion in debt. Try me. Put me in power. I'll have an AC unit in every single cooking canny of every school.
Wait, Grandpa, do you think your Social Security should be partially taken for our generation? Given back to us?
Something interesting. Today I got not a lot of money, but a fair amount of money from Social Security that I had not anticipated at all, which was nice. Of course, I lost just as much in the market the same day. That always happens.
Why is your money still in the market, Grandpa? You're retired.
Well,
stop this.
I'm stupid, I guess. But I got a fairly substantial amount that I didn't even expect from Social Security, which was nice. And the amount of increase, it had to do with, I guess the law made it retroactive for what they paid me over the last 6 months or a year. They made up that difference in one lump sum, and then ongoing, I get a larger amount, which is nice. Not a lot of money, but it means something to me. So to answer your question, I guess we look at our own self-interest pretty much, and then you want to be charitable, but depending on your situation, it seems like we all, kind of what Phines was saying, we kind of all look at our own self-interest. Maybe it shouldn't be that way, but that's the reality of what human beings are like.
But I mean, nobody wakes up
See what
and
they're
they're
saying.
like, "I'm gonna suck the Earth's natural resources." They're like, "Oh
No,
man, gotta."
They do though.
That's not-
They do
yeah,
though.
But
I mean,
we do. I
we-
mean, we're
I don't think that's not necessarily just because you don't think about that doesn't mean that you're not doing it, and not after once you've done it, you have the responsibility to fix it. And even if you don't have the responsibility to fix it, it's just really unethical to just be like, hey, just gonna leave it on somebody else. Give it to somebody that's supposed to worry about.
But who, like, which people, like
what?
the entire age group, the whole. I think of it as
Yeah.
like there's a bell curve, right? And I would say that we're included in the middle of the bell curve, where it's like at the very end, the very small amount of people are all these like fucking a lot of politicians and lobbyists and people that are just like cheating the system and making a lot of choices to sort of make fucked decisions for money, right? And then there's everybody else, which is complicit. And then on the very other end, there's like people that are like, I'm gonna be vegan because it kills the climate to eat a cheeseburger, and I'm gonna be zero waste, and I'm not gonna drive a car that takes gas and all, you know. And you could, I don't know.
I'm lumping them all together in age, and I'm also going, I mean, for sure. I got you.
Why can't we just, pillage the everybody in that first little slide of the bell curve? Why can't? Because that's where the money is. We could just pull all the we could. I feel actually, you know what? That kind of sounds like what we do now. Some baboon at GM and all those other fucking car companies, fucks up the whole car market. And then, instead of just making, whoever benefited from all that bullshit, just return the funds, we had a bailout, and then we end up paying for that later.
Yeah,
we end up paying for that later.
Exactly. We've all seen how hard it is to get the people that actually have blood on their hands to say they are guilty and pay for it. So all y'all got to suffer, and I say that because if you like you were saying earlier, Brandon, about there are people that were a part of it that were actually doing the evil. There's people that were complacent, not doing it at all, and there's people that were fighting for it. Yeah. Well, the people that are fighting for it, I'm sure are going to be like, hey, thank you, we're getting help. The ones that are complacent, they are voters. They had a chance to say something and do something their whole long life here, and they didn't do anything. So now they have to reap what they sow, in my opinion, as a big group. Because, again, you don't have to do it at all, but it just seems like not beneficial for us as a human race. And it just seems like pretty just not right to just really, you have a fun life and you live your life as fun as you can, and then just expect for your offspring not to do that. It just seems kind of weird to expect them to clean up your mess, and that be our only purpose here, is to clean up the mess that the previous group did, and that the previous group doesn't do anything about it. Like they have something, they have responsibility,
So 50 years from now, when people our age are talking about us, would you include yourself in that group if they're saying the exact same thing?
Yeah. I'm a human, just like everyone else. And
I thought you were going to say I'm an improviser.
No, I'm an improviser first and then human second. Yeah. But I'm flawed, and there's things that I'm doing now that are putting someone else in a situation that I don't know. And then once I'm given the understanding of it and the option to fix it, then maybe let me look at that social security check I'm getting. If it's big enough, I'm like, I can't hear you. Sorry. No, I'm just joking. Maybe not. I mean, most likely I would think I would at least go, whatever's easiest. Hopefully they can tax me so I don't have to actually go out and make change with my own, hands and voice. That sounds like work. But if they can just tax me, go ahead, take it.
Yeah.
Well, in the history of mankind, we're looking, the Industrial Revolution is relatively very short period of time since it began. And, we didn't know when it began, and it's made life better for people. We didn't know that some of the negative things that would occur because of it. Mm-hmm. And it probably is going to correct itself, but it takes time. What is the Industrial Revolution? Maybe
it is not going to correct itself. And
it can't correct what it hasn't.
I think the shrugging of shoulders, like, oh, we didn't know about it. Like, again, that's where I kind of get, at least as me, as the other person, I'm like, man, that is such a late.
You don't see right now that there's a move to change from fossil fuels to other types of energy. For instance,
I see it, but
we
you could do it 50 years ago,
60 years ago.
Yeah, now you're doing
I
it.
understand, but it takes time. I mean, it's just like I have a bird that I didn't know was eating too much. I just found out today it has issues. You don't always understand these things right away. Now, in terms of society, it takes longer to realize the problems that you're creating in modern society. And
and that's fine, Grandpa. You just got to pay for it. That's all.
Right. And there's people that benefit from certain things, but I think things will turn around. There'll always be problems. You had poverty 500 years ago, and you're going to have poverty for certain people 500 years from now. It's not going to change.
No,
that's not going to change.
I really feel you in all that. I get you. You learn. You've seen the light. Now that you've seen the light, pay me. That's what I'm saying.
It's not that. It's not a perfectly apt comparison, because like it'd be more like if you went to the doctor and the bird doctor says, "Yo, dog, you got to quit feeding this bird breadcrumbs and corn kernels at dinner time. You got to just stop it." And you were like, and instead you took that information, murdered the doctor that told you so that no one else would find out that he told you that, and then just like kept feeding the bird for like 100 more years.
And then and then you gave it to your grandkid and was like, "Here, take care of it, please." It's
got to stay alive. You got to keep it alive.
Or if the standard of living for people in the United States, not everyone, but for most people, the middle class, is much, much higher, let's say, than people in Haiti. So should we pay the people in Haiti now and to make their standard of living equal to our standard of living? Should we take part of what we have? Would you do that personally? Take part of what you have to bring their standard of living up to what you have? Because that's
if we
what you're
caused
asking.
the global warming that devastated Haiti.
But and even honestly, to be completely honest, again, as long as I personally don't have to go to Haiti and start digging people out, and that's only because I'm an artist and I'm a comedian, and I don't think that's my strength. But
True.
I unless you want me to make jokes, why? And that's no, you don't want me there. You don't want me there. No, that's fine. And yes, personally, I don't. It doesn't bother me that someone takes more money from me to help others because I've had so little. I mean, I've lived with so little now. What is given a little bit? What is given a little bit of my food to somebody else? That person doesn't bother me. I know other people may feel like they earned it and it's theirs and yada this and yada that. But I personally think we're only as strong as our weakest link. So I would want everyone to be extremely well off, or at least on the same level as me. But I don't know. Maybe once I start having nice things.
Are we becoming more socialistic or more capitalistic?
I think I'm a human. I think I'm a human. I think I'm a humanist, and I want humans. I want equal. I want justice, and everyone have the same pursuit of happiness and have the same chances of feeling, of having a good life. I mean, I don't know. It ain't much more. If it makes me a socialist or a capitalist, then so be it. Whatever gets that going. So if it's a capitalist about to sell, I don't know. What category would you put me in?
You sound like you're probably more socialistic.
All right.
Yeah, I'm somewhat socialistic. I'm sort of in the middle. I mean, I somebody walked up to your door right now and said, "Here, give me $100 because I need it, and you have a better life than I do."
I'd be like, "Brother, I ain't
that you would."
I'm like, let's both go knock on doors for $100 because I do not have it. If I had it, I would give it to you maybe because I like your attitude for knocking on this door. But I just don't have it. And then he goes, "Hey," and he puts a gun in my face and goes, "I bet you can find it." And I'd be like, "You know what? I bet I can. I bet I can find it."
Right.
The ozone layer is the gun.
Yeah. Life is hard, Grandpa. I understand there's always going to be death and bad things happening and racism and stuff, but I don't want to be complacent right now. I mean, maybe later.
And some people are more productive than other people. Some people have better opportunities than other people. all different situations in
Yeah.
society. And
I must be a socialist because I don't even care about lazy person getting out. I bet lazy person still deserves to eat. In my opinion, even if they're
I
good
think
for nothing.
people should have a minimum amount of in life to support themselves. Absolutely.
Hi, Brandon.
Hey guys.
Well, what's going to happen with this play that I suggested?
Oh god.
Let me tell you guys about handball.
Oh yeah, please.
Handball.
Handball.
Okay.
I was interested in hearing what Brandon was talking about, what he was reading too, but after handball. But go ahead.
All right. Handball, guys. I learned what handball is for the first time a couple weeks ago. The Olympics were still on. And it was like, I want to say it was like a Sunday morning or like a Saturday morning. And I was sitting with my dad and we were trying to figure out what we're watching. And like, have you ever seen handball?
They play it here in New York.
I played it. You're talking about in a small room, right?
In
you
like
hit it
it's
against
like
the
a
wall?
court.
Racquetball?
No, it's handball. It's like, and we were trying to figure it out, and it was like, it's so you're on like a basketball court or something, okay? But there are like soccer goals at either end, and everybody is just running up and down the court, and you don't have to dribble the ball, but you can if you want to. And then you're just passing the ball to people, and then they're literally just running with it and trying to throw it into the goal.
I don't know. I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, no. And so we were trying to figure this out. Yeah, like I know there's like an American handball, but this is not it. And we're trying to figure out what the fuck this is because it does. But Dad's like, how is this an Olympic sport? What does this mean? I feel like I could do that, you know, because when you see it, it's literally like a huge soccer goal, and there's just a goalie
well, how
there.
do you stop the person that is carrying the ball? How is that person
That's
stopped?
the thing. It's like you can block each other. You can kind of like, I think you could grab each other. Like it's not like a tackle sport, I think, but you can kind of like grab and like fight over the ball a little bit. And it was just so weird because we're like, it was very strange. Like it didn't seem to have all of the finesse and like extraordinary skill required in like a lot of the other events. If anybody watches this or listens and knows what handball is,
I do like watching sports, random new sports.
leave a comment.
I like sports. Maybe I'll see what's going on. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe it's like a thing where you only can take so many steps, like ultimate frisbee, where you catch it, you know, and you can run a little, you know, after you catch it, you get momentum to run with it, but then you got to throw it again.
There's got to be something more than what I saw. It was messed up too, because we were watching it like live and the coverage was so bad. We watched for like 25 minutes or something and they never said what it was. Like we were listening, we were watching, they didn't announce it. They went to commercials several times and then they would just come back and you would just come back to silence and the game would continue. Like Noah would be like, hey, you're back with, you know, Missy Elliott and Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg. We're talking about the Olympic. Like they wouldn't do that. It was just, they just went right back into it. Never explained it. We didn't find out until the match was over. And they're like, all right, these are the handball champions. Here they go.
Sure can.
I'm familiar with a handball where you have like a small racket. It's almost like a ping pong racket. And you're
Right.
in a little room.
That's what I thought.
You
Yeah.
smack it up against the wall.
No, incredible. It's so different.
This is different, obviously.
So confusing.
Just like football is different in European countries, I think, than what we call football
Yeah.
here. Mm-hmm. Which,
Very
by
complex.
the way, I wonder how the Eagles are going to do.
Hopefully good.
Counting on them.
I'm not a big football fan, but I'll watch it. I guess I'm a Colts fan.
I cut out, but is handball played with your hands
Yeah.
and not a racket?
Yeah, no, you
Is that-
literally just hold the ball. You can throw it to other people. You can intercept.
and you hit
You
it
can
with like open
steal
palm.
it. You don't have to because you literally just catch it, pass it, and then you try to like throw it or sling it into the huge soccer goal.
How big a ball is it?
Like,
So it's kind of like
I
a
wanna say like
volleyball
this.
size.
yeah, like
But you bounce it off the wall. I thought.
no, this is on a basketball court. It's like basketball court
Oh.
with two soccer goals. And there's like 6 people on each side plus 2 goalies. and they just go up and down the court trying to pass to each other, and they can dribble, but they don't have to, and then you just throw it in. And I said, how is this an Olympic sport? How is this an Olympic sport?
I'm asking, is that
it looks like
heard of it.
the little pickup team that you see at your local YMCA. Like, it didn't look...
Wow.
It didn't look like a spectacular athletic feat.
IHF. Wait, this is a real thing. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, and then I looked it up when I finally figured out what it was. There's millions of registered players.
Yeah, look at this. Women's handball players are fined for rejecting. Oh, wow. Dress code. There's dress code beef in here. First thing I typed in was international handball, and the first thing that came up was uniform rules, and then all these articles of like some beef between the women's handball team, and oh my god, there's a whole world here.
A whole drama.
And the ball is kind of big and squishy.
Right? And that was the thing too, is like nobody seemed like, I mean, they were wearing jerseys, but like everybody had like the shorts could have been whatever, no shoe rules, no shoe coordination with the team. Just doing whatever we want. It was chaos.
Is it played with both men and women?
It's not co-ed.
Separate.
Yeah, they're separate. Yeah.
I didn't mean co-ed, but women play it as well as men.
Yeah.
Games must be quick. They're only 26 minutes. Looks
is the
like
ball like a soccer ball, or is it a hard ball?
It's kind of like a soccer ball.
Like the firmness of it or whatever.
Looks like a soccer. Looks soccer ballish.
Yeah, it's got to be a little squishy, I think, so you can grip it and snatch it and stuff.
But I don't understand. Does the opposing person, the other team, try to knock it out of your hand? Can they do that, or do they have to get it when it's been thrown?
You can intercept it, I think, but then like you can also like just kind of chase after whoever has it and try to like snatch it from them.
Can you kick them?
No, it's like not that heavy a contact sport.
Okay.
It was very strange. I don't know. Do you want me to find a clip?
I got it. I got you.
You got it?
Yeah, I just sent it to you guys.
Well, I never heard of it.
Let me try to screen share.
Wow, it's like they're running. Okay, they're.
Oh, how'd you do that?
Do y'all see that?
Wow. I think it is like basketball where you get like 2 or 3 steps before you throw it, and it's like a 3-point line or something.
Like they're just throwing it. It's like, what is the goalie doing?
Wow.
Oh yes, very athletic.
I don't understand. What is the goalie supposed to do?
This dude, one of these dudes did a trick shot, and it just was like him, like looking like a fish, just fell on his body, and everybody's like, "Yeah, that's one of the best plays of all time." Oh, that's the one. Look at that!
Whoa! That for our audio listeners, we're watching it. And it's ridiculous.
These screwballs and these little bounce moves.
Wow. I wonder if I could play this with kids versus me.
These kids would smoke you. There'd be like little, like 8-year-olds doing like these triple cartwheels and shits. We can't keep up.
You're
with
right.
them.
You're right. These are Olympic athletes. Wow, he did a split. Whoa. You want to join You want to join the IHF? You can't even do the splits. Get out of here.
It's so.
Wow. Okay.
I don't understand it. But yeah, like just imagine watching this for like 25 minutes and like no one will explain to you what it is.
There's no way they don't have a beach. They should have a beach version of this.
I assume there is no U.S. team for this. Am I right? Or
There must not be.
There is.
Wow.
They only have 2 players.
Only 2 players?
With 2 players.
How do we only have 2 players?
You're joking, Brandon.
There's just 2 goalies.
I was about to say.
I thought I knew what this was. I thought
Me
this
too.
was throwing
I thought
the
I had
ball
it
against
too.
the wall,
Yeah.
But it's soccer with your hands.
It sounds like someone traveled to a country it sounds like someone traveled to like wherever soccer was invented and was like, wow, this was so crazy. And then they went back home and they're telling everybody about it, but they clearly don't remember everything and all the rules.
We definitely have a team.
They just went with it. And they were just like, oh yeah, and you can catch it, and like it's like somebody just like, it's like you play a game with a kid and they just like make up rules as they go, and you're like, okay, well I thought we weren't supposed to touch the ball. Oh well, you can throw it if you.
Oh yeah, they have a New York.
spin.
They have a New York City team. Oh my gosh.
Go see them. Where do they play?
What you mean go see them? I'm about to start. Wow, this is pretty cool. They have like there is beach. There's a beach team. It looks heavy in New York. I'm gonna see what's going on. I'm see if I can play some IHA. I mean, before Delta gets too crazy.
Right. All right, Brandon, I want to hear about this.
Yes,
book.
hear about this book. Talk to us more about the book.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I told you the story of this therapist, but I scheduled a therapy appointment just because wanted to do it like maybe 3-4 months ago, and we did it. Had a great first session, and then he ghosted me afterwards.
No.
And I had
did what?
he stopped taking my call.
Yeah, well.
But I'm just like looking, because I finally have a little bit more stability. I've always wanted to sort of like put a little bit towards whatever. So anyway, I had this Audible subscription, and it was about to expire. So I bought these books, and one of them was by this therapist who had a really cool title, which was like, why your 20s matter and you need to do something about it now, or something like that. And I just started, but basically like I'm having like a quarter life crisis turning 26. It's pretty, I don't know. I was talking to my friend last night, and I met him 6 years ago, and he's about to turn 30 in a couple months. And he's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck anymore. And I was like, how did you get there? And he's like, I don't know.
In a good way? He doesn't care in a good way, I'm guessing.
Yeah, now he doesn't care, but he was like, yeah, he was so worried about all that stuff, How old are you, Fran? 29. Yeah. How do you feel
about life and myself and
turning 30?
Turning 30. I feel okay. I feel good. I like that I look younger than 30. I'm starting to get the oh my God, you're how old? And I go, yeah. I'm dead inside. I'm at that age. Don't take the smile fool you.
Yeah.
No, it's good. No, I'm feeling all right. I think I'm still young, and I don't know. Hasn't hit me yet, I guess.
Yeah. I think the book or the point or whatever was just that like people tend to think of 20s as like sort of unimportant, and she said that the most change a human makes in their entire life is like in their 20s, like, and those small decisions that feel really inconsequential are like the biggest factors of like, I don't know, there were studies of like these famous people and their autobiographies, and it was always in the 20s where like those little decisions happened or whatever.
I'm still working on making changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good though. That should be a good note, Brandon. Whenever I hear somebody like that that's in there, like they're older and they're like, I'm still trying to figure things out, I'm like, oh, I got time. And then I just relax.
Yeah. What'd you do for your 30th birthday, Grandpa?
I can't remember.
Dad fucked up, huh?
It's like any other day to me.
40th birthday?
I don't remember that either. I don't
50th?
I don't remember any of my birthday.
Brandon, do you remember your 8th birthday? What'd you do?
Yes, I do. I was standing at a party, at a birthday party, and we had like it was some sort of themed like plates and balloons.
What about for your 21st birthday?
I don't know if it was like Sonic the Hedgehog. 20 I don't remember.
You probably went out drinking.
21st. Yeah, we went to Atlantic City. That's right. That was an amazing birthday. Amazing. Because my friends surprised me, like, first time legally gambling, first time legally drinking, all that stuff. And I go into the hotel room, and I thought someone had broken in. I'm carrying like a fork and like maybe like a little food thing, and I walk into the hotel room, and there's a man in a head to toe green full body costume, and another man in a full banana costume laying down, like being fucked by the man in the green costume. And it was my friends. Like, I thought
His friends were having sex with each other, and he walked in on it.
No, they weren't actually having sex. They were pretending to. But I thought someone was like had like broken in or they whatever, and I went in with I was like, what the fuck is good? I got really scared.
Cosplay fuckers. I don't know.
Yeah, it was really funny.
That's cool.
It's just the weirdest shit. Yeah, what'd you do for your guys' 21st birthday?
I wasn't a big drinker back then, and I don't remember I got a Mike's Hard Lemonade. I think I had one. Either. Yeah, I'm not a big drinker now. But I had a Mike's Hard Lemonade, and I remember doing the math in my head when I was looking at the package. I was like, these are 6% alcohol, and there's like, well, now this is after. This is not now. I mean, this wasn't when I was 21, but looking back at it, I was like, man, a whole 6-pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade with all that sugar and how much it is like alcohol content compared to beer. It's a pretty good. I mean, it'd probably get you screwed up if you were to drink some of those, and they go down pretty easy.
First time I ever got drunk was Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah, it seemed kind of dangerous in a good way, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we used to have those things.
I've had a Four Loko,
and they used to be crazy, and now they're just like juice.
No, I think I had one when it was bad. I don't know. I know that
I don't remember.
I went on a tangent in my fantasy football chat on Four Loko. It was during the Colin Kaepernick thing, and some of the teams in my league had named their team something that I didn't agree with, and I just got drunk. It was like in 1826. And that started off my long tangent of drunken.
And who won?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Not me.
It's not the destination, right? It's the memories you make along the way.
Exactly.
Can we edit that part out?
No, it's okay. I'm reading a book by Will Eisner. He made The Spirit. He's an illustrator. He does a lot of stuff with Disney. I don't know if you know him, but he's talking about the theory of comics, and I learned a lot about perspective to my reader. Like if you do it from a top view, if you're looking at a bird's eye view, you detach from the scene. But if you're looking at it from eye view or worm view, you're a lot more submissive to the page. So it's a lot more scary and stuff like that. So I've been learning about storytelling. What you about to say, Sierra?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
Did you ever finish those sketches for Soul Patch?
No, the same ones. No, I just got the same ones.
Can I see?
Yeah,
them?
let me give me.
Did you ever send them to those guys?
No, because I wanted to. I haven't. All I did was really sketches of Big Mouth and Johnny Bravo to kind of get a style, and then I kind of started thinking about Albert and what colors he wore, all purple and stuff like that. But I don't have any imagination of what he wants to look like. Let me see.
Did you ever get a chance to read that, Sierra?
No, I haven't, but it's still I still keep it marked in my inbox.
Yeah. The line's still open.
Yeah. But I'm super excited.
I've been too.
Oh,
what are you thinking about right now, Grandpa, in your head?
There's somebody on the bed. I was gonna all the cameras that way, but
what makes you think I'm thinking?
I don't know. You look like you had a thinking face.
There's nothing really good. Nothing good.
I was thinking whether I should ask.
Yeah, just told you this right here, right?
Sierra about her birthdays, but then I decided, nah.
Yeah, no. I drew some BoJack Horseman ideas, but man, no, I don't know. You can't see it in here.
Yeah, it's really hard.
If I did it, maybe if I had something that wasn't in all this is pencil drawing. If I had something that wasn't a pencil.
When we get off air, maybe you could send those or something.
Okay.
Or one. Why not ask about Sierra's birthday?
Well, I thought that I'd be imposing.
Okay. Is that imposing, Sierra?
No.
Okay, Sierra, tell us about your birthday, your 21st birthday.
I was trying to remember what happened on my 21st birthday, but like I can't remember past graduating college. I just like that was the catalyst event, and then everything got fucked up. So I'm like, let me look it up.
How soon after you graduated did the pandemic happen?
I graduated in December of 2019.
I'll say a little bit of freedom.
So
yeah, you got those good 2 months.
And I thought those were going to be like my vacation months. And I was just going to be like, I earned this. We're going to jump back up in March and it's going to take off.
Yeah.
Hilarious. August 2018. There's got to be something in here. Oh, I guess I hung out at my grandpa's house. We had a dinner.
Do you have a diary?
No, I'm looking at my pictures.
It's the same thing.
Right. Yep. Cousin had a basketball. I was wearing a nice watch before I got my Fitbit. Mom's hair was popping, and it was at my grandpa's house, so I didn't drink anything. I must have waited until I got home, and I have no idea what that was. It could have been anything. Brandon, what is going on? Keep bippity bopping out of the damn
you
call.
Having a good conversation. You're talking like, yeah, this happened and that happened, and now look, there he is. He's back.
Get it together, bro.
Well, the whole it just cut out on me. The audio cut out.
Whole gang
Everything.
was there. Oh, there's my grandma. My grandma was there. Dope. Yeah, I guess that's what happened. But I don't have a lot of eventful birthdays because Brandon probably knows as well. When your birthday's at the end of August, no one shows the fuck up, and everybody gets.
It's the worst fucking thing ever. Yes. Oh my god.
Everybody is confused. The people that know you your whole life suddenly forget.
Everybody's
every goddamn year.
Gone to school, or they're about to go to school. And if you had it on September 2nd, and your birthday would be like, oh, we're back at school and it's Sierra's birthday. It's Brandon's birthday. If it was August 25th or 24th, it would be like, oh my God, last hurrah. Let's go fucking party. August 27th, 28th, 28th. It's literally like right when everybody's like, I can't fucking do anything for you or anybody.
Or they just won't.
I'm 9 years
they just
old
go on their
and
last
I
call
have to
pack
pack my juice
no
box
parties.
tomorrow. Awful.
Everyone cancels.
And then it's super weird because this changed my whole life. The fact that you are right on the cusp of like being in the year before or the year after, like that's a choice your parents can make. So I was the year after, or no, before. So I was the youngest. I was like the youngest kid every year in my whole class.
See, I was older. That was me. I had to wait a year before I get to school. So
why?
Birthday's July 8th. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It was on that little thing that they were like, he's not there. You gotta wait. So I was always the oldest person in my class.
But I don't do a lot of birthday shit, and you know what? That's why I was kind of mad. I was like, I'm not really mad about it now because it's like inevitable, but I was really mad like last month, and even in June I was pretty mad because I was like, this is the only year I was even gonna try, because I was like, all right, girl, we're vaccinated, hot girl summer. And then you guys were like, no, really hot girl summer.
Explain what hot girl summer is to Grandpa.
Hot girl summer is you just choosing to live your best life and just do things that make you happy for the summer. And you're not worrying about anything. You're not stressing about anything. No one's going to put you down, bring you down, make you sad, make you rethink. You're just like, no, I'm going to do it for me. I'm going to have a good time. And I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do because it's the summer. And those were all the good vibes when all the bitches were out getting vaccinated in the spring this year. We all had good vibes. We all knew what time it was. And then everybody else fucked it up.
Everybody else.
All the June birthday bitches, they got their hot girl summer.
God,
all the July birthday bitches, they got their hot. Not the August bitches, not us.
Even the July 25th, like
even them, even the end of July bitches. They're like, oh, I'll wrap it up in August. We're gonna slow it all. We're gonna cruise. We're gonna take off the cruise control and put our hands back on the wheel in August. Not us.
I can't see. You gotta.
Fuck.
Are you safe?
So he's showing his COVID test status.
Damn.
You gotta just
What
read
is
it.
no,
Yeah, just
no,
read
no,
it.
no. Dramatic
Read
effect.
it, Jerry. Oh, thank God. Okay. Bless.
Man,
Honestly.
that was quick. That was good. Did it this
Good.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is really
Yeah. Usually they do my rapid test and like it takes no time to get my results.
You know
Like,
what
I'll do-
the hilarious part is they say if you want to get it they told me I would get it within 72 hours. If you want to get it within 36 hours, you pay $100. If you want to get it within 12 hours, it's $175. And if you want to get a 30-minute rapid test, it's $215. And I was like, I'll do the free one. And they got it to me in under 12 hours. So
I get rapid tests for free.
really? Where?
This is Georgia.
Yeah, I'm in
Okay.
Georgia. It's really, it was very hard to find a testing center.
Urgent care, all the urgent cares, urgent cares here, they do them pretty easy. It's like 45 minutes or 40 minutes, and then you get it results in like 30.
The scariest part was I double masked and I put a face shield in, and then the kid right in front of me was wearing the thinnest bandana I've ever seen and kept turning around and being like fucking sneeze, like really, really bad. Like he sounded like COVID.
I can't help but like, this is one thing that bothers me. I'm trying to get over it because I'm trying not to be mad at people. I'm okay with someone. I can't stand when you're not wearing a mask and you cough, even if it's an accident.
It's the
Like,
worst.
it's okay if you.
It's the worst.
It's okay. If
No,
you're
it was a
mask.
small child, was not vaccinated, and it felt like he was there because he thought
It's
he
the
had
worst.
COVID.
It
And
feels intentional.
The bandana,
Yeah,
the bandana was so thin, guys. I mean, I've not seen a bandana. I think it was made out
He
of.
took a bandana and just like undid the seam. and
Yeah, it looked like a thread. There was like a needle
it's
hanging
literally
off
the
the end. Of it.
worst. That happened to me. Like last week when I was at the store. I was like, I just wanted some bomb pops. It was hot. I just wanted some bomb pops. And like, there's this family right in front of of course, anytime you go to the store, obviously there's people right where you need to be. And it was this family, and like, it was like these two people were masked up, but like the mom wasn't masked up, and she clearly needed to be masked up. And it's like, as soon as I tried to go around them, I just hear this.
No.
Our audio listeners are gonna hate this.
I was like, we just gotta go. We just gotta leave.
Well, it's like, what
Just
can
gotta
you
leave.
do if you're in a line and it's like, I had never felt like plastic. Like I had a plastic face shield. I was like, I felt air go through it in those moments. And yeah, wouldn't it be so fucked if you went to a COVID clinic, tested negative, and then got COVID at the clinic?
That's what always scared me from
God
like the
forbid.
beginning was
Oh my
like,
God.
you can get that test
Shouldn't have
and
said
then
it.
like some dumb bitch like licks the door handle or something like on your way out.
It's not like Voldemort.
Crazy.
Just because you talk about it don't mean it's gonna happen.
Bro, I'm very
know.
superstitious. It's not good.
You know what that reminded me
What?
of? One day, your story just reminded me. There was one time I was out with like my mom and a friend, and we were at this cool taco restaurant. It was supposed to be like all the rage, really cool stuff, and they had all these like wacky types of tacos. And I was like, ooh, I want to try, I'll get this one. I got like a vegan taco. I got another one. I got a regular one. And then I was like, a salmon taco. I was like, I want to try that. Cause I'm thinking, I've never had fish tacos before. So I'm like, okay, we're going to see how the salmon incorporates with like the salsa and all these things. When I get it, it's like a regular hard shell taco filled with cold salmon.
Oh God.
Covered in mayonnaise.
Well, that's okay.
Because I didn't know what aioli was or anything. No, but mayo like makes me sick. It makes me nauseous. Like just being around it makes
The
me
texture
nauseous.
of
I
it,
can't eat
it does look kind of weird.
It grosses me all the way out. So I can't have mayo. So I thought aioli was gonna be like something oily more or like a sauce. It's literally just mayonnaise, raw red onions, and capers. And so I was like, okay, well, like, just try it. Try something new. So I like took a bite. And as I took my bite, I was like, this was a mistake. But it's not a big place. So like, I don't have a lot of room. This was like before everything. And I was like, There's not a lot of room for error here. So I was like, just swallow it. Just hurry up and chew it and swallow it and let it be done. Just let it be done. And it's just sitting in my mouth and I'm feeling it's getting bad. It's getting really bad mentally. And then as I'm trying to like just block everything out and just swallow this food, there's a family leaving at the table next to us. Okay. And there's this little kid like right next to me and he's getting out of his seat and he's putting his coat on. And as he's putting his coat on, he just goes, "Achoo!" I've never been so close to vomiting in my whole life. Like it was at me. It was at me. I was so, and like my mom was sitting next to me. She's like, "You gotta just swallow it. Just swallow it." She knows. She's like, you gotta just let it go. You gotta just let it go. Just block it out. Just block it all out and just swallow food. And it's like it was so difficult. Kids are nasty, bro.
This reminded me of the Grandma Ruth story, Grandpa.
Which one is that? I don't remember.
Which story you're referring to.
With the cake and the dentures.
I suppose so. I don't really remember the story.
No. Well, I don't want to tell. I mean, yeah.
Was it? What must have been about my father, not my mother.
No, your mom.
Yeah.
When
my mother.
well, yeah, at her birthday when she blew into the cake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Were you not there?
I don't think I was.
My mom tells the story all the time. She was at a birthday. It was her birthday, I think, right? She turned like 90 or 85 or something. You had to have been there, but they got a big, beautiful cake. They spent like over $100 on this, like, it was a huge birthday, like the most beautiful cake you've ever seen. And they lit, 80 candles or whatever. And no, I don't know. And then they like put it in this thing, and it was like the centerpiece of the whole party, and everything was just spent on this, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to eat this cake." It was just sitting on the table the whole time. They light the candles, and then Grandma Ruth goes to blow out the candles and the cake, and the dentures from her teeth shotgun from her mouth into the center of the whole. I don't know.
Did they eat the cake still?
Damn.
I think she did.
Damn.
Frankly, I didn't know my mother wore dentures.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh no, Max. Then it was Max.
That's what I said. It would be my mother.
Do you remember Max doing that?
I wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I didn't live in Philly for many years.
Right.
I didn't live in this area. I was down in Atlanta.
Is it all right, let's just ask this. Is it weird living in your mom's well, okay, where did your mom pass away, if you don't mind me asking?
In what town, or what do you mean?
Well, no, like what room? Like
in what room? In her bedroom, I imagine. In her bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. For another time.
It's so weird now that thinking like all these years we've just had people just blowing on our cakes and we're all just right on in there. Just everybody.
Things have changed, yeah, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Like
Anybody just blowing on your cake.
I've been with people celebrating birthdays in the last year and a half, and they took the candles out and like blew separately. Yeah, that's so gross now. Oh my God,
right
that's
now.
so.
Anybody. Just a big old wet.
Yeah.
COVID birthday
Devastator.
candle.
Co-
COVID birthday cake.
COVID birthday round 2.
Right. What did I do last year for my birthday?
Instead of
I danced.
what'd you do?
I danced. I just at home. I think we had tacos. It's probably tacos and tequila, probably.
I remember you talking about.
Probably what I'm gonna do.
Isn't
this
that
year.
crazy that we've been doing this so long? I can remember you talking about that.
Gang, it's been a year. Yeah.
When did we start? Do we know what week?
I don't know, because there's a little lag between when we started and when we started posting. I have to go back and look.
But it's definitely been.
You know what? I bet it's in my email somewhere.
Wow.
When I was emailing you. So, yeah, let me get a beat in the chat.
Wow.
Let me get a beat.
That's crazy that we've done a year.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Grandpa.
Yes.
Are you gonna sing us happy birthday?
Is this a happy birthday song?
Yeah.
Well, I'll sing it along with you.
Sing us happy birthday, Grandpa.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
There it is. That's perfect.
Birthday
are we
gang
singing happy
gang.
birthday for our broadcasts, right?
Yeah, for our broadcast.
Got a lot of
We're
birthdays.
Leo. Grandpa and Chill's
We can all
Leo.
sing it together. Sure.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Got plans
Chill is
about
Get some
big
birthday
birthday.
patrons, guys. Get us some birthday
Yeah.
patrons. Come on.
I'm trying.
Begging. We love it. Who else is here? Oh no, I didn't want that.
Whoa.
What happened? Wow.
What is
I didn't,
going
I
on?
didn't
More
ask for that. I thought wrong.
I thought this was going to be more
thought wrong.
handball, but it's not.
I thought
This is
Riverside,
an
you
ad
could keep doing
for Riverside.
I don't want this. This is Riverside mobile ad. I'm not incorporating any Riverside
they're blasting
mobile.
an ad on our show.
I pushed a button because I thought it was going to be music.
Are they
going
to pay us for this?
We really need to reach out to customer service because
Let's do it. You know what would be fun? I think Sierra would be really good at it too. And Brandon would be really good at it. We should just have an episode
I want it to stop.
of doing
I want it to
ads.
stop.
We
Yeah.
can get paid and have a good time as well.
Yes, we've done we've done a couple ads.
Let's sell our soul.
I can put in effort. It takes a long time to sort of like court people, but
Who always gets ads? Let me think about this. What stupid ads am I always? I mean, what awesome ads am I always seeing?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
we need to get some.
We need,
sponsors.
VPN,
Blue-
ExpressVPN,
Lord,
Blue
I
Chew.
see you.
Blue Chew, yeah.
Grandpa and Chill.
HelloFresh.
Blue Apron, yeah. HelloFresh,
Raid
Freshly.
Shadow Legends. I'm not above it.
Yeah, Jim Bean. What else is a big one?
Yeah.
Sort of mattresses, you know, the ones you got. Help.com.
BetterHelp.com.
BetterHelp.com.
Casper
BetterHelp.
mattresses.
Help.
Yeah.
BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
Yeah.
Me. Yeah.
Better. No.
Miria,
BetterHelp.
Somebody hook
So
us
if
up.
you're listening,
The ad for the home security system's pretty clever and funny. The one
What is
where
that
the
one,
guy falls
Grandpa?
down the steps. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's a young. He's a burglar, and he tells you that he has a mask on and he can. He knows exactly what he's doing. He falls down the stairs, and it's a funny ad. It's on all the time. You haven't seen that one?
No.
It's like you put in your own home security system.
Yeah. That's
Been
cool.
advertised widely.
Hey, what do you guys think, even if it has nothing to do with the episode, would be the most clickbaity title that we could post here? Because, for example, we had one that was like, "This one gets real at the end," like that podcast. We had like almost a couple hundred new listeners just from that, you know?
I think a couple things. What's that thing where people eat as much as they can online?
Mukbang.
Mukbang.
Mukbang? Wait.
Mukbang. You can.
Can we
do
have a video
that.
of a mukbang?
That'll be our. 50th
You could do.
episode.
You could do how to make money. People love that. We could just talk about. Let's see. How to have a healthy and loving relationship right now. No work.
And then they wait 2 hours to get to this part of the conversation.
We'll just put a time
Sucker.
code.
And
we'll
now-
just put a time
now
code.
it's
We'll
in
just
the
put
title.
like go to 1:15:33 and
How to
become lovable. How to stop how to start loving yourself and stop hating yourself. Episode.
Yeah, well, now, how to start loving yourself and stop hating yourself now. That's a good one. What do you think, Grandpa?
Sounds like a good idea.
Do you know what clickbait is?
I've heard of it, but no, I don't know. Incidentally, the system I was talking about is Simply Safe.
Simply Safe. That's another one. It's a very popular podcast advertiser.
okay.
Yeah.
Simply Safe, where you at, baby? This could be us, but you playing.
I'm trying to think, Grandpa. Okay, so Grandpa, clickbait is when you make a title like very like inflammatory or exciting for no reason, just to increase the viewership of your show or video or whatever.
It's like if we titled this podcast like, "You won't believe what Joe Biden said to this black child," and
that would be a good title for an. I would be down.
Like he gave him a free hat or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Are we? Is that where we're going?
For attention? Yeah.
that's what we'll title this episode.
Episode 49. You won't believe what Joe Biden said to this black child.
Gain a bunch of followers. Click this link.
Or just some crypto shit, like to the moon.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I fucking yeah. Phines knows that I fell down a rabbit hole with that. Have you heard of cryptocurrency, Grandpa?
I have. I have some. What is it called? Blockchain.
No, you don't have blockchain.
I do, and I lost a ton of money today.
Oh my God.
It reverse split, if you know what that is. Do you know what reverse split is?
Grandpa, you explain to me what blockchain is.
Well, it's a system for, I guess, for purchasing and selling of cryptocurrency. Basically, that's what it is. But do you know what a reverse split is, Brandon?
Explain it to me.
It's when you own, let's say you own 100 shares of stocks, and it reverse splits 10 for 1. Now you only have 10 shares of stock. That's what it did today.
Yeah.
But each share is supposed to be worth 10 times as much, but it doesn't always work out.
Who splits the stock?
The company can decide, for instance, if it's a penny stock and they want to get on the NASDAQ, they can't get on it unless they have a certain minimum price per share on the stock. So they'll reverse split it in order to have a higher.
So you're what
individual share price?
What crypto are you invested in? Bitcoin?
I'm not in a crypto. I'm in the blockchain.
You're in the blockchain.
In blockchain, yeah. It's called BTCS. It's a blockchain company. In fact, they were the first to do blockchain. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're not invested in crypto. You're invested in a company that makes blockchain, which cryptocurrencies live on. Yeah.
It's like it would be almost like a brokerage for stock.
Okay.
It's kind of like a brokerage.
Usually, that's your safest bet is when you play for the full market, but you still lost money, huh?
Well, unfortunately, it did something that no one knew it was going to do it. It reverse split and
hold your mic up to your face, Grandpa.
It reverse split, and the problem there is that it was a very, very inexpensive stock. So you're going to take a lot of people when it's a more expensive per share stock that won't buy it just simply because they'd rather own 100 shares than 10 shares, even though the 100 shares aren't worth any more than the 10 shares. They'd rather own the 100.
How much money did you lose?
Have more shares. Well, that's personal. You know.
Okay. Phines is really good at investing, from what he's told me. Am I wrong?
I do okay. Not that good.
You were in Tesla in like 2017.
That's true. That's true.
Well, then you've done well. I hold my own.
Yeah. See,
you just said you lost a bunch of money.
Well, I'm talking about one thing that happened on one day.
What would you say overall, Grandpa, over the course of your lifetime?
I hold my own.
You're at a cash positive.
The last 8 years, I hold my own.
Good.
Yeah.
I've made some mistakes prior to that, but yeah.
That's good. You think I should get into investing, Grandpa?
Well, if you don't really know the market, what I would do is buy like a fund like from a company like Vanguard, which is an excellent company. They're the second largest fund company in the U.S. and their funds are good, and you probably just buy it and forget it. You know, that's probably the bet. They have like, I don't know, 50 different funds.
I've been on a kick of watching a lot of like Dave Ramsey, Graham Stephan, and like budgeting and like stretching your dollar, that kind of thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not really, but I don't pay too much attention to any news from individuals because you don't know what their ulterior motives are when they write articles. You don't know whether they're in the market.
No, they're like
or they're
financial advisors about your overall how to get out of debt, how to budget, not like what stocks to invest in.
Well, they probably give you some good, some good ideas.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do.
He says not to ever have a credit card, but I'm going to use a credit card to go on vacation. So
well, that it's good to have credit, and if you don't have any credit cards, you're not going to have very much credit.
Yeah,
your credit
that's a terrible
rating is not
idea.
going to be real good. That's the downside.
Instead of final thoughts, I wanted to ask, what was the best and worst day of each of your guys' lives?
The best and worst.
And don't say it a day for either one.
I gotta think about this.
Best and worst day. What if it's the same day?
Then you're difficult, Phines.
That'd be
The best day of my life is the day I was born. Because I got to breathe all this great, clean, free, equal, justified air. I love it. And I'm very happy about it. And I'm still loving it. The worst day of my life.
I was hoping it wouldn't be like this.
Probably my family, one of my close family was passing. Yeah, that sucks.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's the worst day. You asked me. It would have been the same day. And I had to pick up something traumatic instead. Even though being burned is traumatic. I'm pretty sure I was smacked on the ass.
Yeah, I mean, what if you remembered those? Like, what if the brain worked where you remembered from the moment you came out?
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Once I could talk, be like, let's explain.
Yeah. What about Grandpa or Sierra?
I can't answer that question because I'd have to think about it, but I don't know that there is a best and worst day, really.
Just when you were pondering it, did any days come up, moments, memories?
Well, I can think of bad days and I can think of good days, but I don't necessarily think of them as the best and worst. I mean, I've had several days that were not particularly good, like when I got held up by 4 men with knives coming at me, or when I got hit by very high voltage off a high tension wire.
What?
When my second wife threw me out of the house.
What? Wait, I didn't know that.
I don't want to get like.
See what happens when you be asking these questions,
the
Brandon?
questions I want to ask the whole
throwing everybody
show.
into some bullshit, bro.
I'd say you answer very well. And what about good days that you thought of?
Well, I've had a lot of good days, I think that when you're young, I guess when you first fall in love with somebody, that's always a good day. If you meet with a person and you really hit it off the first time, whatever. Then after that, maybe goes downhill or whatever. But when you first get involved with somebody, I don't have a specific day to give you right now.
That was a sweet answer.
Sierra?
All right, let me see.
Sometimes people don't want to talk about all these things, Brandon.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's good
Worst-
content.
Always, delving into their personal lives.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Worst
thing
day
is.
ever.
Yeah, go Sierra.
Do you want me to share?
Please.
My worst day ever was when my second dog died because I didn't think he was gonna die.
Your
And it
second
was
what died? I'm sorry.
My dog. I had
your
2
dog.
dogs.
Okay.
They were brothers, and one we knew wasn't doing great, and then exactly a month later, thought it was just gonna be me and the homie, and then he was like, "No, this sucks. I'm out of here." Mm-hmm. He knew COVID was going to get worse. And so he dipped. That was the worst day ever. And then best day ever. I don't think I have any of those. One time we won first place at a...
No, Rosie.
I won one time. We won first place at a volleyball tournament. That was dope. I still have the T-shirt.
That's awesome.
Best day that we're working on 24, so maybe some better, maybe a real best day is gonna come. Not volleyball tournament when I was like 15.
This book, that How to Not Waste Your 20s or whatever. I wish I had read it sooner. So
yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm going to pull out now.
You don't want to know what my best day was, Grandpa?
Well, I kind of know. Okay, tell me when the best
What do you
day
kind
was.
of
I
know?
sort of know when one was one of your worst days. I don't know if it was
Oh,
the worst,
yeah.
I know.
That
I know
was
one,
that.
I already know that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. My dog dying is pretty up there. I agree with you, Sierra. That's really hard. The day that Grandpa's talking about, and then one other day when I was 30. Those are the worst, but I'll say my dog. And then, like Grandpa, I have a few good days. This one time when I was in high school, I went to Six Flags, and it might be the best day of my life so far.
Six Flags.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the day that you won World of Warcraft or something.
Haha, nerd.
There was one day where I won the game of World of Warcraft. Like I won the whole thing.
You won the whole
You
thing?
did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you just 100% it? How do you beat it? How do you beat
Yeah,
it?
nobody knows this day.
online.
No, I was was this middle school or high school, Grandpa? There was a day where I was like very good at World of Warcraft, and he still brings it up.
We love this.
Listen,
shit.
I am.
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
I'm enjoying being with you guys, but I'm afraid Rosie's going to bite my ear off, and I've got to.
I love
starting to
you
really
so much, Grandpa. I love all you guys. This is a solid show. Got a big surprise for next week. I'm really excited.
Okay.
Hey.
I have no idea what it's going to be yet, but
Thanks for listening, gang.
Patreon.
Remember, we want some birthday patrons. Okay? Birthday patrons. Gonna get Rosie. We need the money. Guys.
click
We need Rosie
on
some
the
toys.
show
We need to get Brandon
notes,
some
right?
clothes.
To get to the Patreon, you got to click on the show notes.
Get in them show notes. It's in the description for our YouTube viewers. We're right in there.
Yeah.
We got Linktree. We got some link trees on our Twitter, on our Instagram. You can just pop in there.
Hey, I also just want to shout out, Grandpa. You're good to go, but
Hey.
please,
He said I didn't need
please
permission.
leave.
I was already on my way.
I want to shout out our listeners in Germany, France, Kenya, Hungary, South Africa, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Japan, Netherlands, Philippines, Austria, United Kingdom, Canada, and Zimbabwe just in the last 5 episodes, so the last month. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.
South America,
Good
we're
night.
still
Good
we're
night.
still waiting for you, baby.
All right, I'm going to get something to eat.
Podcasting with Grandpa Bart and Rosie, always on his shoulder. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Grandpa and Chill is brought to you by your hosts, Brandon Fox, Bart Frank, and Phines Jackson. Our producer is Sierra Doss. You can find episodes old and new on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the show, and follow us on Twitter for behind-the-scenes moments you can't get anywhere else.